The club is in a great position at the moment with so many members. This age group here, the 5 and 6 year olds, we've got 3 and 4 year olds down there all the way up to 21. And did you play matches over here?
Yeah, I played matches.
And did you play Treasure Island over here?
Yeah.
And did you do the 2 against 1 player over there?
Yeah.
2 senior squads, we've got a ladies squad for next year as well. So the club is performing in all the way it should be. Now we have another 12 girls team next year, so it's a great opportunity for the club to just show that we can cater for everyone in sport. And linking then with Galway United, linking with the Galway Women's Football Club. Today we're bringing our under 11s and under 10 girls to the match, to the Galway Women's match against Bohemians. So that's a fantastic occasion, shows the girls that there's a future and a pathway for them as well.
It's very different to when I played soccer in school, so there was no club when I played soccer in school, so we went to the school, and in fairness they gave us a coach and set us up with some matches, but we didn't have the level of coaching that I see today, which is amazing. It is really great to see the thought leadership going into the club, the coaching levels growing in the club, and even just the level of support for each age group we have for the girls teams especially.
So I've heard so much about everybody in this team. You wouldn't believe how much I've heard. And it's absolutely fantastic to see. I think there's like 16 or 18 of you here today.
As in terms of what it means, I mean, I spoke to you earlier and you were like, the club has doubled in size, and I think women's football has seen this throughout the world in terms of participation and development, and it's hugely important for I suppose someone in my own position that's trying to recruit and trying to get the best players in. I mean, we need to get them from somewhere. The participation and the development in our local area, in our local teams is really it's not that it's good, that it's really needed. Like, I mean, it's you can't have the product that we have without having all these kids here this morning.
I train with the under 8 girls on a Saturday morning here in Renmore, and I just love being here each morning and seeing the girls come out and learn skills and develop the game. They really are a fantastic group of girls, and I love to see them to learn and to enjoy and be with their friends, and just the experience they have here in Renmore. It's just wonderful. I suppose a standout day for me would have been last year when we finished up the season, and we had a beautiful day here in Renmore. We had an ice cream van here, and the children just had a ball, and the parents too. Everyone just came together, and during the tough times we've had during the last few years, to see a sunny day here in Renmore and everybody just come together and enjoy the fun of soccer and how it brings everyone together, it was just wonderful.
We have great girls teams at all of the younger levels, so for the future I'd love to see that grow into the all of the older age groups, so we'll have girls teams and women's teams at every level in the club.
This is better. Good woman, Julian! We have very mixed abilities. We have women from 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s coming every single Thursday. And again, like everything, we have weeks where we have huge numbers, and we have weeks where, you know, obviously weather and the year that we've had, it's been amazing, and it's kept growing and it's kept growing and it's kept growing. There's been many different aspects to it. We've even had a game, which we had a game out in Kiltola, which again, well, I had no expectations of how we'd perform. We had assumed it was going to be a social ladies team like ourselves. They were actually a Premier Division team. We gave it as much as we could that night. The girls were fantastic. We had so much fun, and that's what I hope to see for the future, that we may not have a team to enter this September, but going forward, yes we do. We will have one. We're going to hopefully have a blitz here in the next couple of months as well with just the ladies, again, so that the girls and boys in the community can see, you know, we're doing it, we're able, and why not, and support the ladies in the community. And from that, lots of the ladies, and we've encouraged them, have become coaches and want to become coaches at academy level, which I think is a great bonus.
I'm going to go now.
Coaching, you're Ma and McKee. Can Donche, she's a goal, she's a goal. August on cool forte, Galway, she'll cool, maybe Tastel, good, don't.
Well, doesn't the FAI, we've worked very hard on that over the last number of years to build the foundations first off, but to create a clear pathway as well for the children, the girls in particular. So you have your strong grassroots clubs, girls then can progress into your national league and then into your international. What we need for that though is we need our role models as well, and we're very lucky in Galway, we have a lot of local role models. So be it our National League club that are here, and you have international players from Julianne Russell right down to the younger players involved, and even our local development officer, Emer Flatley. She was a previous international and a lot of experience in the game, but the girls should be looking up to people like that and aspire to be the best they can be as well. If they make it to a professional level, you look at the captain of Liverpool, Niamh Fahey, another Galway woman who's shown what can be achieved in the game, but also working in tandem, and it is very strong for us as well, as working in tandem with the education sector as well. So the girls develop their football skills, but also their education part, because these girls are talented in what they do, but they're also very smart as well, and have carved out very good careers for themselves as well, which is very important to us.
I'd always be quite proud of what Renmore has done for underage soccer, for ladies soccer. Just, it's so proud. You see the Ireland ladies team qualifying for the World Cup. The thought that potentially we may have somebody on that team one day, that's not just a dream. That's a reality now. Seeing what has been put into the club, what's there now. It's not a dream. That's most likely something that would happen, which wouldn't have even been thought of when we were standing out there 15 years ago in the cold with 3 young girls thinking, where do we go from here? It's a reality now, and that's something huge.
A lot of us were playing for other clubs within the city, successful teams and also very successful school teams. We were all going to the same school, mostly to the Bish. We always thought, well, wouldn't it be great if we had our own team? Why are you playing with West or you playing with Review? Why aren't we hang around together, we get the same bus every morning, we should be playing under our own banner. So that was a driving force to get the club going as well. There was a lot of talent in Renmore at the time.
Bernard Shapiro is a legendary figure within the club. He was obviously the founder of the club. Bernard's an important figure in Galway because he was also one of the founders of the Order of Malta. A particularly standout moment was when we went up to the Áras in 2013. That was important because President Michael D. Higgins used to live in Renmore, and he actually coached in the club, and Bernard coached Michael's children. And so we were able to bring our president up to meet the president of the country, and the two presidents had a great day together.
I was away from the club for a while, but I was conscious of the numbers dwindling in the juvenile side. I was looking at results every week, and I could see not too many Renmore teams, but it's slowly but surely building up, and now it's fantastic to go down there on a Saturday morning and see the number of young boys and girls running around there, and they will experience what I experienced as a young lad, a club that you love going to, you love playing the game of soccer, and hopefully in a few years' time all those young kids will develop into very good players that will go on to represent their club at a higher level, maybe, play for Galway United, play for Ireland, as they have done, as we have had players do in the past, to get back to that level. And for me, that's the key thing about Renmore Soccer Club, is that these kids have that opportunity now to go there every week and play their game and enjoy it and get decent, good coaching, bring them on the game, develop them, and have fun at the same time.
I joined the club as an 18-year-old, and I won a league. I won a league and a cup. We did a double that year. The following year I actually signed for Galway United, and that was in a Division 2 C league. Tom Bradley was the manager.
Ronan, get after it, help George. Help him out. Alex, you're not helping, there's no goals, it's possession football. Come back in. Hello, Colm, good touch. Keating, make an angle. Can you receive it? Can you receive it? Alex, yes, press, press, press. Well done, Alex. Good press.
It was a bunch of friends playing together on a Saturday, going from playing down here in Renmore to playing in front of 1,000 people in Eamon DC Park. It was special, yeah. And there's I have some great memories of it and some great matches. And the away matches too. There's a couple of grounds that we done really well in and a couple of grounds I really like playing in. Turner's Cross down in Cork was a lovely pitch, great crowd. Tallaght Stadium, very hostile, you know, you need to have a thick skin in you down there, but I enjoyed every minute of it. I enjoyed that part of it, you know. I felt I never shirked away from any of that, and no, I really enjoyed that.
But there's no goals. You have to just keep the ball. It's possession ball.
I suppose when I left, I was always looking for a club to kind of come back to, do a bit of coaching, help out amongst the community, and Renmore was just a perfect fit.
Yeah, well done. Pass, pass.
I think it was Niall Murphy on a day like this wrote me in. I think it was under 10s at the time. Yeah, we kind of never looked back. We had a great little, I'd say, management team, myself, Spiros and Ollie, three of us. And my favourite memory, I suppose, going back is just those kids going from an under 10s up to an under 17 now. We've had them 7 years. And watch them grow as people and as a player too. As a coach, I play a vital role in that. A club like Renmore is a great community club to help these kids grow. And like that now, we still have a core bunch of players from that under 10s age group to now at 17s. And it's incredible when you think back of it, like to keep them together for that long, keep them interested in football. And Renmore is just a perfect club. It ticked all the boxes.
I played for Renmore back in the 1980s. So I'm one of the last remaining players that's in Bernard Shapiro's old notebook. So I wonder what he has said about me there. I came back to Renmore maybe 13 years ago to a completely different club. But the best memories I have are still from that initial period when we were 10, 11-year-olds. We got to a cup final playing Newcastle, and we lost, unfortunately. But the guys that I played with on that day, they're still friends of mine today.
Well, growing up in Renmore, and we've been here for a couple of generations, the Duggan family, for me Renmore soccer was always here. Renmore soccer certainly has brought a community spirit on and matured that community spirit and gelled the community together. And since the pandemic, as a society and as a community, we all appreciate more the local aspect of our clubs, our amenities, our communities, how we gel together, our local businesses, and each one of those has its own part in supporting each other.
So Renmore soccer to me means community. The whole idea of having a club in the community, involving the community. So it's the togetherness, it's the whole. I'm new to Renmore, so when I joined the club, I felt like I made connections with people from the community.
Renmore has meant to me a sense of community. It's a sense of we are here together. Our own kids all grew up here together. They played together. They were a part of a club. It was a huge part of their life, and it was a huge part of our life. So I suppose the biggest thing it meant to me is community. It was our community in Renmore.
My favourite memory would be probably the 2017-2018 season when we got promoted from Division 1 up to the Premier Division under Paul Gaughan. It was just a great season, and overall, it was just a great training session, a great bunch of lads. And of course, we had to get promoted on Good Friday, which back then the pubs weren't open, so we couldn't even celebrate. But it was a great night.
Playing here as a kid and then coming back, being asked back to manage the B team, and seeing a lot of the lads I played with when I was young turning up for training. So we brought the B team up to DC Park. Unfortunately we lost in the final, but getting a call a few days later from Alan O'Boyle then to manage the first team, that just was really good for me, really exciting. For me it means an awful lot to me. It's a massive part of my life. So obviously I trained the first team and we're really working hard on that for the last few years. It's great to see how far the academy has come here. It's really exciting for the future.
My favourite memory was just growing up here and just playing football with all the kids in the street, with those kids then coming up to the club and us all playing together. I mean, at that time there was kids on every street in Renmore, and we were all out playing football and things like that. So to come up to the club and play with the club, with them, that was pretty good.
We had a really good squad of players at the time, good players that wanted to learn how to play football, and went to a 10 training, good discipline as well, and we won a number of leagues, under 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s I think I remember, but Coll Cups as well. We had I think 7 or 8 on the Galway town team. That led into trips away. So we went to Man City for a weekend, great time, played at their new stadium before it was as cool as it is now. We went to play the competitions in Dublin. We were the first team in Ireland to use the Aviva Stadium. But we also went on to Cork and Kerry and Sligo, loads of tournaments all over the country. And the kids always remember them, not actually the winning, it was just having crack and having fun and having good trips with the kids.
When I was playing football with Renmore Soccer and many before me, we were togging out in cars. We decided at the turn of the century to literally build a clubhouse, or try to build a clubhouse. Blood, sweat and tears went into that over the next 6 or 7 years, and thankfully through the work of the committee, the hard work of the committee and the local people in Renmore, it came to fruition here, and the clubhouse you see today is as a result of that project.
So the clubhouse has allowed us to achieve things like the club mark.
Well, we're after getting the club mark, I think, yesterday as well from the FAI, so continued on that path, because that's a path of excellence, linked with a national mark that says this is how good we are, this is where we aspire to be.
A community club like Renmore, it's very important to us to receive this award because it gives us national accreditation to the learning environment we've created here at Renmore, which we're very proud of. It's a positive, safe and consistent learning environment.
I think we've got nearly 80 volunteers now, all of them Garda vetted, safeguarded, which means that they're actually engaged in what we're doing.
Garda vetting and safeguarding are paramount in what we do here, and ultimately we are a club that has large numbers of children, and it is important for us, and I as chairman, that everybody is safeguarded and everybody is Garda vetted. And I would like to compliment the committee as a whole over the last number of years who have worked hard at this to ensure that we are within compliance.
Every coach that we brought on board is engaged enough to go and sit for 2 hours and do a course. That's rare. That's something we haven't had before. And I think it's just because we're showing what we're doing here. This is great crack. Saturday mornings. Where else would you want to be like?
If you get 20 under 6s or 20 under 7s or 20 under 8s in your academy, the whole idea is keeping it fun, bringing them through the whole club. If you bring them through the whole club, then you get the investments, the clubs, the pitches come. Seeing that kid play when he's 18, 20, 21, 25, down the line, he's fit, he's young and healthy, that's what you want. You don't want them coming through and fading away, because you want to, if you're investing them at a young age, when you see them at 18, 25, you know you've done your job.
I have one girl on my team, and I was reffing a game, and she was absolutely incredible. She scored 3 goals, and she came up to me and said, "Dave, I scored 3 goals." And I said, "I know you did." But it's just she needed to express that and let the whole world know that she had scored 3 goals. So it's lovely to see kids just suddenly come alive, and especially when you see kids who in training, you know, you wonder, do they have that love of football? Do they have that real desire? And then in a match, suddenly it switches on, and they're the best moments when you see kids just driving that little bit, you know, biting for the ball. You know, a 60-40 chance, and they're getting it from the 40 side. So those are definitely the standout moments, you know. And of course the odd victory along the way.
Renmore has had many successes over the years. The successes really started in the summer of '79, where in the Wish weekend they took a number of cups in one weekend, including the Richard Quinn Trophy, the Sweps Cup, the Joe Wickham Cup. The junior reserve side won the league in '79. Also, they returned that also in 1981 and 1991. The club then went on to have successes in 1995, where they represented Ireland at an international competition in Tomasi, Hungary. And then in '96 they won the Premier League, the Heineken Premier League. Justin Neary was a manager at that time. They also won the Premier League in 1998 with Dermot Coll.
It was a big challenge to me to manage a Premier League team, my first foray really into the coaching sphere. I assembled what I thought was a reasonably good squad. Renmore had always been noted for cup runs, and that particular first season we went all the way to the Coll Cup final. Unfortunately, we were beaten 2-1 after extra time by Galway Hibernians. They also won the league and pipped us into second place, and we went to the last 16 of the FAI Junior Cup. Should have won in Dublin against a team called Kilmore United, lost 2-1 after extra time. We did win the area final of the FAI Junior Cup, that there was a trophy in place for winners of the area final of the FAI Junior Cup, and that subsequently led us to what probably was, most of the players will remember from the time, a trip to Budapest, where we played in a tournament and we won the tournament in Budapest, and it was a great bonding experience. That then led into '96, and I had learned my lessons from the previous year. The first 5 games in the junior season were played over the first 2 weeks of the season, and I thought if we can get 15 maximum points, we have a third of our season practically in the bag, and that's exactly what we did. Probably 2 or 3 points separating ourselves and Hibs again, and the second last match was against Crescent United. All we needed was a point to win the league. They came to visit us here in Renmore, and with a minute to go, Ollie Keogh scored a screamer of a free kick. We lost the game 1-0. But later that afternoon, word came from the far side of town that Hibs had drawn a match with Old Ground, who were a team based over in Chantala, and that meant the final game the following weekend, it was all to play for. We needed a point, they needed to win. And the game itself, I've never in all my life seen as many people at a game in Renmore. The avenue, Renmore Avenue, was flooded with cars. The pitch was completely surrounded. The interest was that keen. And Hibs went into a 2-0 lead, and I thought it was gone. But I knew there was a resilience in the squad, and they wouldn't let it go that lightly. We practiced set pieces all that year. Noel Graney came up with the first goal to bring us a goal back. He was my vice captain, and it was left to the captain, John Welsh, with about a minute to go to score the equalising goal. And then we were tortured with 9 minutes of injury time by referee Pat Barry. No disrespect to Pat. I think there was huge elation when the final whistle blew and Renmore captured their first Premier League title.
So in the 2000s then we saw success really starting to come probably around 2007, 2008. The under-18 league was won. Peter Power, Terry Lee did well there. And then probably from 2010 through to about 2014, the under-14s and under-16 sides did very well, taking league and Connacht Cup doubles a number of times. Dennis Mulligan and Terry O'Regan had done particularly well then. And then we saw in 2017, 2018, our junior squad got promoted from Division 1 up to the Premier League, and then in 2019 our under-16 squad won their Division 1 and the Connacht Cup in the same league as well. Another double success for the club.
So in terms of the future, I always talk about the 3 Fs: football, facilities and finance. So in terms of football, I'd like to see the level of coaching be raised a new level. I know there's really good qualified coaches in the club, but can we get coaches to UEFA B, UEFA A that can direct football from there on? Facilities, I think the AstroTurf pitch is key. We're struggling with weather in this country every year, and we have to go hiring Astros all around the place. You know, can we get an Astro built on site, and hopefully with lights as well, so you can use that from 9 o'clock in the morning to 9 o'clock at night at no cost. You know, we're paying a lot of money for Astro hire.
Yeah, I would describe the clubhouse as maybe as phase 1. Phase 2 now is going to be an AstroTurf. Galway City Council are the primary project leaders on that. We expect that to go to construction in the first quarter of 2024. We're pivotal to that. We're working with a local school beside us here, Scoil Katrina, and we will be the 2 primary tenants of that facility. It will also be open to the Renmore community as a whole to use as well. So we have a subcommittee set up in the club that's driving that project along with Galway City Council, and as I said, we expect that to be completed sometime in 2024.
To do all these things that you have in mind, you need a lot of money, and I know we're getting grants maybe, but you know, you have to do the fundraising within the club yourself, and you know, to compete with the clubs that have those facilities around the town. A lot of money has to be raised. So the future, is just to see all those young kids, that 250 kids coming down there to an academy, you know, to see those kids reach their full potential, develop as players and as young people as well. You know, in a club you learn life lessons as well.
Grew up watching more teams winning premiers, cups, And later on, a really good memory was captain the 2017-2018 First Division team to get back up to the Premier. The first time in maybe 10 years since they were there. So it was very special times, very good memories, meeting some good people and playing with some good people. I was away for a few years, travelling and working, and always keeping an eye on things at home, how the club was going. They'd gone down a couple of divisions, and which was sad to see, but when I came back, I couldn't wait to reconnect with the club and get back in with the lads again. And we had a little bit of a roll for a few years, we had success, we got back up, and at the moment now we are at the cusp of getting back into the Premier again. And like, you can't beat the feeling of putting on that Renmore jersey and go down, giving it all for Renmore. It's what I always enjoyed when I was younger, and I still love them today.
There's a lot of things that you can get involved in, and I suppose that's sometimes the bit of fear that people might have about coming down here, that they have to be able to kick the ball around to help out, or that they have to have played soccer in their past to help out. That's not the case at all, and thankfully in the last number of years we've become a lot more open to come on down. There's loads and loads of different things that are part and parcel of getting a great club like this up and running every week and every month and every year. You know, we have a lot more people get involved in helping out with admin roles. We have a few people helping us out with doing our social media posting. We have a lady helping out with graphic design for our posters, etc. So there's lots of different things. We have a great committee there. They meet once a month, and again, even just getting involved in that, there's different roles that can happen, and every meeting brings something new that needs to be done every month or every week, and it's very easy. Just get down here, get involved, ask the question. Whatever your skill set may be, we can help, we can use it to help all of these kids grow and develop. It may not be kicking a ball, it may be writing, it may be typing, it may be admin, it may be IT, it doesn't matter. We're willing to take on any expertise or any excellence that you have. It can only help us to bring this club even further into the future and beyond.